Going on YouTube? Just figured I'd make a video and show you guys how I'm hooking up my air compressor lines. Um, this is my regulator right here, Sharp 606B. 3/4 inch main or 3/4 inch main line I'm using the whole way. Sharp or the SATA and Iwata guy, they recommended at the SATA meeting and Iwata meeting at school, they recommended 1 inch main line and 3/4 inch drops, but I just went with 3/4 inch the whole way. But I'm guessing they're just saying that because it gives it more piping to cool it down, because that's really the whole goal, is to try to cool it down and get as much water out you can before it comes to your line. But yep, they recommend 25 feet minimum and 50 foot optimal, or any more better. So I'm definitely should be above 50 foot on this. But this is what I did. Like I said, and you want to put your regulator as far as you can away from the air compressor. So by the time it gets to it, you know what I'm saying, that'll give it a chance of water to catch it, you know what I'm saying. Coming right out of the air compressor, so much pressure, it's just going to pass it right up. So you're going to want to put some of your traps and water catches away from the air compressor. The first way you can, you know what I mean. Preferably at the end of the line. But yep, so I got one trap right there I'll drain daily. That's a 3/4 inch main line. And then I got another trap you can see all the way down there at the bottom. See, it hangs down. That I could drain daily. So as I go down there and show you, I just got to make a little fitting for the end, so it's easier to drain it daily, so I don't have to unscrew this every time. But I'll just drill some hole in the bottom of this cap and put some kind of fitting in there that's easier to drain it, you know what I'm saying? But that's the idea. It'll come down and sit in that trap before it'll come past here. But that's one of my traps that's going to come up. You have to find a few couplers and stuff to get in there, and then, some clamps to hold it down. But yep, 3/4 inch main line all the way to the unit, all the way up to the regulator. And that's how it's going, all the way down there, down, and then back. See what I'm saying? Down, up, and then all the way back. So it goes all the way around there. That's the only piece I'm missing, is that little spot. And then from there, all the way down to there. From there, cuts over to there. And then from there, comes down. See, I notched the table right there. Go through the table. And it stops right there. That's where I ran out of piping, so I'm going to have to make an elbow to come over. And then another elbow going down to that with a little small pipe and then an elbow, going into them. But yep, and then there's coming off the air compressor. 3/4 inch. There's my shutoff valve for the whole system. Just have one shutoff valve right here at the main line. I mean, I got one on regulator, two on each side, but this will shut the whole system off right here. Just a 3/4 inch 3/4 inch valve from a gas and air valve, from Menards. 3/4 inch piping, elbows, adapters. That's just black steel piping. They recommend copper, that's the number one, but copper, we all know that costs a lot, and I didn't know how to weld up them joints, you know what I mean? I was gonna go with copper, but I didn't know how to weld up them joints, with the solder and the heat and all that. I'm sure I probably could have figured it out, but black piping, all I gotta do is just buy it and screw it in. The only downfall between the black piping and the copper is black piping got, rust inside. Copper don't rust, you know what I mean? So yeah, but black piping is probably your number one use, you know what I mean? Because it's cheap. You get, like I said, $10 for 10 feet, about $1 a foot. and I don't know what copper costs, but that ain't cheap. But yep, then aluminum. SATA's trying to sell their aluminum piping now, but even the SATA rep said it's so much that he don't recommend it. He just go with black piping too. They didn't recommend the plastic piping you see in the roll kits because they said they just got a chance of bursting later on or busting. And they also said if any of them, which I highly doubt would ever happen, any of them, shavings on the inside of the piping from the air come off, they said that coming through the air or whatever can be fatal to breathing in. But I highly doubt any shavings would be coming off them pipings. I don't know. But that's what the SATA guy said anyways. He just more or less probably trying to sell his piping, and I don't know. But yeah, he said over time the plastic, the PVC type piping, or the PEX tubing, whatever they use, that'll crack, and so you just don't recommend it. But yep, black steel piping. So that's what I got going on there, YouTube. Just to show you how I'm doing mine. 1-inch main line. I should have over 50 feet, so it should be nice and dry coming off. Coming off that air compressor produces some heat. You know what I'm saying? So should be nice and dry by the time it gets to that regulator, and hopefully water free. It's another thing now. I got my welder home. I have to hook this up. I already got the wire ran when I wired up my air compressor. This is 6.2 wire coming out of here. That's for a 50 amp. That's for my welder at the 220. I called up Lincoln and got the information on that before I bought this wire and buried it outside and hooked it up. They gave me the information on what amperage I needed, and then I called up the electrical company and asked them what the amperage for what the Lincoln's asking. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere or less between Lincoln and electrical company. That's what I came up with. 6.2, 50 amp outlet, and this will be a 220. This is for my 220 to plug into. But this welder has a 110 outlet too, so I mean I can plug it into the regular, but if I want some heat, I can plug it into the 220. So, and I already got that wired up, so I'm gonna go. All I gotta do is get the box for it. You know what I mean? So that way, if I need heat, I just plug it into the 220. But yep, that's 6.2 wire, and then the air compressor, that's 10.2 wire. I wired that all up. Yep. Or my electrician buddy wired it up, I guess I should say, not me. But that's how I got it going on, YouTube. I just figured I'd show you how I'm doing my piping. Any tips or hints on my system that you guys see or any flaws, let me know. Alright, YouTube.